Missing out on online giving on event sign up? Discover how to create a stunning church website on WordPress that not only looks amazing, but manages your online giving and events like a pro. No coding needed, just purpose-driven results. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so throughout this video, I'll show you how to create a church website like this. We've got our header section where we can add our key information. Here I've limited it just to events and giving, but you can add any different key information you want to display in your header section. Here we can have a look at our sermon schedule or events, or even we can even change this to a link over to our giving page. We've got our church location here. And if we click on more details, here we've got our address. You can click get address. We've got our email address, a bit of information about the church, the gallery, in case we want to showcase anything, a contact form. Should you have any questions, you can go ahead and contact this church directly. We can see the priest at this church. Let's scroll back over to our homepage. And as we scroll down our homepage, we can see our regular sermon time, church service, the different services in which we've got our latest news here and our latest event here. To clear call to action, let's go ahead and click on our givings page. Right, I've kept this super simple, right, just straight to the point. You can add more information or less information if you like. Just thank you for giving. We couldn't do it without you. And here we've got our giving form. We can customize the message just to make sure it's concise and it relates to what we are speaking about on this page. Right, we can enter the amount. We can turn this into a recurring giving form, so it's totally up to you. You've got our contact us page, clear call to action, our phone number, email address, priest, and so on, address, opening times, and we can add a contact form here as well. Events, let's have a quick look at our events and then we'll get straight into the tutorial. So let's have a look at this event here. We've got our event name, event date, event time, telephone number, more information about the event. We've got our address. We can go ahead and click get direction, and this will open up Google Maps with the direction from our current location to the event. If you've got any questions regarding this event, you can go ahead and fill in this contact form, or you can go ahead and contact the event organizer via this telephone number here, or even the email address. So it's totally up to you. So if you want to create a similar website for your church, the first step is to head over to aitthemes.com. Go ahead and download the Citadella WP theme. I'll leave a link in the description below. And with that being said, let's head over to our dashboard. Assuming you've downloaded the Citadella WP theme, the next step is to head over to Appearance, Themes, and just go ahead and upload and install that theme. So I've already got it installed here. So I'm going to activate right here. It's prompting us to install the required plugins to extend the functionality of our website. So I'm going to click install. All right, that's activated fine. So now we'll scroll down to Citadella WP Church, and then we'll click import layout. Here it's informing us that by importing this particular starter site, it's going to delete all the content on our website. So you want to do this on a fresh WordPress installation or a staging site. I'm going to click confirm, and our website has been installed successfully. So the first thing we want to go ahead and change is to customize our header section, our menu items, and then we'll go ahead and customize our homepage, our events page, and also add a donation page as well. So let's click customize because we want to customize our header section. I'm going to click on this pencil icon here next to our logo. So we'll change the site title name. We'll call it Church Boston. We've got a tagline, explore your faith. Here we can add our logo. If you don't have one, you can just remove it. And then we can just have your church name here. Let's scroll back and let's head over to Appear. And then we'll go to header layout. And here we can choose from this classic layout, which I'd recommend. But it's totally up to you. Or you can go for this centered layout, which is like this. I personally like the classic layout. So I'm going to switch to that one. We can make our header section sticky. And I do want to do that. And the reason being is I want to keep certain information easily accessible to our readers. So as we scroll down, we can see the header shrinks and we've still got key information here. So I want to keep that. One last thing I want to change is let's go to header background. So currently we've got this brown background color. We can go ahead and customize it. All right, and we can add a header image. I'm going to actually remove this. And now we just got this flat color here. Perfect. So this is what I personally want. If you want to add a background image, you can do. Now let's scroll. We can change the typography as well as our color scheme. So for example, if we wanted to get away from this brown color, we can go black, right? And most of the highlighted colors are now black. Page color. We've got this light brown footer color. Currently it's still brown. We can go ahead and change this as well. And we'll customize the homepage design in a second. So I'm happy with this. Now, if we scroll back, we can go to menu and we can customize the footer menu as well as this main menu here. So I'm just going to customize the main menu, and you can customize the footer menu when you're ready. So this download layout, I'm going to remove this. So just click delete. And I'm going to remove this news link as well. I want to keep everything concise. So the main thing I want to have is events, contact, and also a given page. So I'm going to click add new item here. And we haven't created our given page yet. So I'm going to select a custom link. I'm going to put my website URL here, and then I'm going to put /given. And when I create that given page, I need to make sure that the URL structure matches this link that I'm entering. And then I'm just going to name it given and just click add to menu. I'm going to remove this contact page and I'm going to leave it in the footer section. So I'm going to remove this. So our key pages are our homepage, events, and given. I'm going to hit publish. Now let's view our homepage. Okay, perfect. So we've got our homepage, events, and given. And if we scroll down, we've got a contact page here. So that's fine. And we can display our contact page elsewhere on our website as well. Now let's have a look at how to configure our homepage. So since we're on the home page now, we can just click edit page. And I want to click on our document overview. So we'll click this hamburger looking icon here. And this will show us all the different sections in which we've got on our website. All right, so we've got this first cluster here, or we can call it this first section, which when we go on the home page is this little section here. We can go ahead and customize this text so you can have it say whatever you want. Right, if you want to bold a particular text, you can highlight it, click bold or italic. If we click on the complete section, we can add a background image to the section. If we look over to this section here where it says cluster, we can select single color, gradient, or image. In the future as well, we'll add a video option so you can show a video playing in the background. We've got our key call to action. So we've got sermon schedule, news and events. All right, I'm just going to change this to events. And if you want to change the link, you can go ahead and customize it here. So let's scroll down. So next we've got a section here, which will show our congregation, where they can find us, and any recent up and coming events that we've got. If we click on this cluster and if we scroll down to mobile settings, here it says visibility. On mobile, it says always show. We've got this separate cluster here, which is specific for mobile devices. Here we're showcasing our regular sermon with a link to view our sermon schedule. And we'll have a look at this in a second. So you can just scroll through and customize each individual sections. For example, if you didn't want this section here, go ahead and highlight this entire cluster. All right. So here it says church service. Let's say we didn't want this section. We can just right click and just delete and delete any other sections in which we don't want. Here we've got our news and event, and the news is basically a post, and the event is this listing item powered by the Citadel WP theme. I'm going to change this background, this footer section here, the background of it to a darker color. So I'm going to click edit original, and I'm just going to change the background color to black. And let's hit save. Now let's head back to our homepage. We can view our homepage. And if we scroll down, I'll just change this background section from the brown color to black, right? So it blends in more with our footer section. Okay, so let's click on sermon schedule. All right, here we've got a list of our regular okay, let's have a look at how this page is created. We'll click on our document overview. So we've got our main cluster and then we've got our sermon, and we can see this is just an opening hours block. So one thing I forgot to mention is if you want to add a new section, so I showed you how to remove a section, but if you want to add a new section, you can either click this plus icon here or wherever you see the plus icon on the page, you can go ahead and click it to add any type of element. We can click browse all and we can use the AIT blocks builder. And here we can add various different roles, social media icon, table of content, menu, tabs, star rating, and there'll be loads more different elements in which you can add as well. You'll also be able to click on here where it says AIT templates, and you'll be able to quickly insert predefined templates onto this page. So for example, if you want to add a contact us section, if you want to add a services section, a donation widget, or any sort of thing like that, we'll have various different templates for you to just be able to quickly click import, but that feature's still in the works. I'm just letting you know ahead of time that it is there. Now we'll have a look at the event section, and then we'll have a look at how to add a giving form onto your website. So let's click on events. Here we've got our various different events here, and we've also got current news as well. So these are just regular blog posts. And let's have a look at one of our events here. So we've got key information such as the event date, the event time, what the workshop's about. We've got the map overview of the location. We've also got the address here, the contact information, and we can click get direction, and this will automatically open up Google Maps so they're able to find the venue location. All right, if they've got any questions, they can go ahead and fill in this contact form here and send you a message. You'll be notified, and then you'll be able to respond to them accordingly. We've got the event detail here. All right, so now I'll show you how to customize this events page. So maybe you want to add more information onto it. Maybe you want to add an additional button to your giving page, or maybe to social media, or whatever the case is. So we'll head back over to our dashboard, and we just need to configure our events page. So we'll go to Citadel WP listing, and we'll scroll down to item extension. All right, so here we've got our group, which is events detail. So currently here, the only extra field that we're adding, besides the default fields, such as address and so on, is the event date and the event time. So maybe we want to add a phone number in which our congregators can contact the event organizer. Let's double check, see if we've got a phone number on here first. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we'll say tell. All right, we'll click save settings. And then here where it says item detail. Currently, if we look at the events page, we can see we've got a website. Then here it says item and then slash whatever the event is. So maybe we want to change that URL from item to say something like event, for example. Okay, so when we refresh this page, the URL structure will be our website, event, and then slash the event name. All right, so now we'll go ahead and customize the events page. And to do that, we need to head over to Citadel WP special pages. Okay, and here where it says item detail page, I'm going to go ahead and click edit. We'll click on our document overview. So our first cluster, we've got the item title, right? So the item name, and then we've got the item extension here, which currently we're showing the events date, events time, and we want to enable this option to also show the telephone number, which we just added. When we scroll down, we've got our featured image, we've got the map location, and then we've got the events detail, and then the contact detail, the get direction button, and we've got our contact section. So if they've got any questions, they can go ahead and fill in this contact form and we'll get a message sent over to us. We can customize the label as well, right? So your name, email address, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to hit save changes, and now I'll show you how to add an event. So I've shown you how to design and customize the events page. Now we can go ahead and add it by clicking on item. Let's click all items just so you can see the current events, right? And then we can just click add new. However, I'm just going to go ahead and edit this particular event. All right, so we've got our event name. We've got some information regarding the event. We've got our featured image here. And then when we scroll down where it says item option, we've got our subtitle. Here we're displaying the event date. We can add our location. Right, so you can just type in the address. Let's say Boston. All right, obviously you want to be more specific and add the email address in which they can contact. We can show the contact form. Website URL. They're already on our website, so that doesn't make sense in this case. We can add any gallery if we want. Event detail, right? So we've got the event date, the time, and now we can add the telephone number. So we can say 0800 something. All right, and let's hit save. And now when we view our events page, we've not only got the event date, time, but we've also got the telephone number. Okay, so that's our events page. And on our homepage, when we add the event block, it's automatically displaying the event here. Now let's go ahead and customize our giving page. So if we click this link, it should be a 404 page because we haven't actually created this page yet. So let's go ahead and do that. Before we actually create the page, we need to add a donation plugin. So I'm going to head back over to our dashboard. I'm going to navigate over to plugins and then add new. And then I'm just going to search for give. Let's go ahead and install this plugin. Let's activate it. I'm going to create a standalone video on how to create various different types of donation forms, such as recurring, one-off, where they can add a custom amount and so on. But here we just want to add a simple giving form. We can go through the wizard, the setup wizard. We can choose whichever makes sense for us. Okay, so this form looks fine. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and connect our Stripe account or pay. Here it's saying there's other gateways as well. We're not going to do any of that for this particular video, but you get the idea. You can just walk through the steps and you'll be able to add your payment option. All right, so I'm going to click on a campaign here and I can see we've got one campaign, which is the one that we just created through that walkthrough. Let's go forms. All right, and when we hover over it, we can just click copy shortcode. It's been copied successfully. So now we'll create our giving page. So we'll just click add new and then page. I'm going to title mine giving. And here we just need to make sure that the URL slug is given. And that's just because when I created our menu item, I created a link to this page, right? So now we just want to go ahead and create that page. So we can add some copy here. So we can say like, and we can paste in our shortcode. So with this text, it makes sense to turn this into a heading. So to do that, we'll just click add, browse, and I'm going to go ahead and select this heading option here. We'll paste in our message and then we'll just drag and drop it here. We'll go ahead and delete this original text. And then we can just hit publish. Let's view our page. All right, so I'm going to make this thanks for giving centered just so it matches the aesthetics of this page here. So let's click edit page. All right, so let's add a little bit of design element to this page. So we'll click add here. And I want to add a cluster. I'll add a cluster here. Okay, and we'll move this title within that cluster. Okay, we'll also move the shortcode within that cluster as well. Background type to an image. Let's go ahead and select an image. All right, so we'll click select once we've selected our image. Let's go to height setting. And we want to set a minimum height of, let's say, 500 pixels. No, let's say 800. And let's add a background overlay. All right, so that looks fine. Now let's change the color of this heading. All right, that's fine. And I'm going to add a subheading. So let's just duplicate this block. All right, so one last thing that we'll do actually is if we scroll down to Citadella header section, we can click this option where it says use custom header. And we're going to show our content over the header section. We'll make the header section transparent. All the text on our header section, we'll change it to white because we'll have a darker background. Let's hit save changes and see how this looks. I think we might need to change a few other bits, but let's have a look. All right, so this looks quite good. However, our content is protruding in our header section, so we need to add some space in there. So let's do that now. Let's click this plus icon and we'll add our responsive spacer. Add it here and let's click on block and let's try 150. I want to duplicate this block. So let's click this three dots here. Let's click duplicate. And I'm going to drag and drop this one here, right at the end of our page. And this time I'm going to say minus 100 pixel. So we'll say minus 100 pixel. Let's hit save. And we're adding that minus to try to get rid of this space in here. Let's refresh this page and see how it looks. Okay, so this is loads better. I think we can add some more space in here, right, from the top. And I might change the background or make it a bit darker because this doesn't look all that good. And I'll add some more space in here as well. So let's customize our spacer here. Let's just change this to 200 and let's duplicate this. Let's go duplicate and let's move it. Let's click on our document overview. We'll move the spacer just under the shortcode. All right, that's fine. Let's just change our background and see if we can find a better fit. So we'll click this icon here where it says change image. Let's try this one. Let's add our overlay. I'm going to have a gradient overlay. Hit save. This is loads better. Of course, you can go ahead and add your own styling element, but we'll leave it here for now. We can choose our amount or even a custom amount and hit donate. And this brings us to the end of this video. Like and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you've got any questions, leave it in the comment box.